welcome to another installment of the Fragments of Silicon Reviews. The first review session, the first broadcast, the first everything of season 18 of this show. 18 seasons. It's not a really significant number, is it?
No. I mean, it's what, 9 years? Because you do 2 seasons a year?
Yeah, all calculated. Although, if I'm remembering correctly, we are going to hit the 10th anniversary of Fragments of Silicon in October. But we'll get to that when we get to that, I suppose. And we're still, 2 seasons off from the big 20. As it is, we have 4 games to review, as per usual. Forgive if we seem a bit off. We're just coming in from break of 3 weeks, so a bit of rust is expected. It always happens before we get back into the groove. But anyway, so the first game we have up this week is Deckham. Deckham is a solitaire-style boxing card game. That is a sentence I just said. Once again, if nothing else, we cover all sorts of weird games on this program. Anyway. Try to survive 12 rounds with the champ, and you'll be a winner in my books, kid. Like Solitaire, the object of this game is to draw and place based on a sequence of numbers and rules. Each fight is different. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Much like in life, kid. The most important thing to remember is you get knocked down, you get your ass back up. Almost a Chumbawamba lyric. Anyway, so yeah, that is the basic gist of this. This is a solitary card game themed around boxing. Though it's definitely solitary in the terminology of you play alone, not in the actual, say, rule set of any of the popular solitaire variants. It's got its own internal logic, and that is important because that's how the stratagems are built. First of all, it's not so much you're fighting the champ, you're enduring the champ. Key difference. You're not expected to knock him out or anything like that. You just have to survive for 12 rounds. And then you win. And to that end, you have 3 card types to help you. You've got the blocks. You've got the lucky strike. It could be 4 cards. I think there are 2 kinds of strike cards. All right, there's the health cards, and then there's the lucky punch, which each card has its intrinsic stratagem. Probably the most complicated one is the blocking mechanic, because it's working on 2 sets of parameters here. You've got the face value in how much damage you can absorb, but also it works on the principle of recording what champ card was used against it. To wit, if you use, the default number is 15, and if you use a champ card that's, say, 8, it will be good up to the number 8. And if you go above that, then you will absorb the full amount of damage. The block cards will either dissipate champ cards or absorb up to the number listed. unless it is broken, and then you feel the full force of the jab. And that gets into the deeper mechanic of, do you keep the block card around? Or do you get another block card? This has happened to me. That is of a lesser value, but has more, champ juice. I'm not exactly sure what to call that particular alignment. Flexibility against champ. I guess that's a good way of terming it. And the actual punch cards, those lower the value of the champ cards. And that feeds into the strategy of the block cards. Sometimes the health cards are a lot more straightforward. They will add the amount of the base value to cards to your total amount. And the sucker punch, that will get rid of a card and put it back in the deck, which means you do have the chance of seeing that champ card again. And yeah, that is the basic components of strategy here. And yeah, you will usually be facing multiple champ cards within a round. And you can hold one punch card and one block card in their own slots, and you've also got the corner card, which can hold any sort of card. That's where you would put if you've already got your block card filled, you put another one there, or you want to keep a spare health card around. Although I would be hard pressed to figure out why you would want to keep a health card around, since there's definitely less strategy involved in that one than the others. But and you won't run through a full deck through 12 rounds. I can also say that. And your prize winnings are your score. I'm not sure if that actually does anything. You do have the opportunity, if you win a round, or I think even lose a round, you can go double or nothing. And I never went double or nothing because there really didn't seem there doesn't really seem to be a purpose behind score. And yeah, I think that's about it in terms of strategy components. Now, as far as how they all work together, they work decently well together. I must admit, this is the only boxing-themed card game I've ever covered or played or would have conceived of. But, there is a good intermingling of the strategies. But I suppose my big problem here is this game went for a hyper-casual route. It's very easy to play. It's very breezy. And the marketing materials here definitely play that up. It's mentions, remember old school solitaire, the one that came with your PC, much like the good old days. Deckham is a game that you can open up during your 9 to 5. Hop in and hop out as you code, make art, take notes, enter data, or zone out during meetings. It's set to a default window mode to let you sneak in and out as you please. So the problem with that is there's not a lot of depth here. Or there's not a lot of variety. That's probably the better word to say here. Like, I mean, for a casual solitaire style game, it's got a decent amount of depth. It's just, it's got the one card game. And like even basic ass Windows 95 solitaire, for example, had like two versions of solitaire. You had the you had the 3-card version, you had the 1-card version. And trust me, that kind of difference can make a profound difference in how the game is played. And this isn't even getting into all of the other versions of solitaire there are out there. Spider and Free Cell and Tripeaks and so on and so forth. There are many variants to the solitaire formula. This game is always just going to be this game. And that really does hold it back because, okay, yeah, you can play this for a couple of minutes during your work break, but sitting down and actually playing it, yeah, it gets old quickly. Thankfully, it is reflected in the price of how casual this game is, as it is going for $3. I suppose on its own, I could recommend it for $3. Like in a vacuum, but as a actual solitaire replacement, I don't think it has the staying power to do that.
Mm-hmm. Especially because regular solitaire is free on literally almost anything.
Right. Plus, this game has a much more niche appeal. It's a boxing-themed solitaire style game. It's getting by on novelty at first. That will wear away, and like I said, once you get past the premise and what it is, it's still decent, but it's still fairly shallow. Versus, the more universal playing card games that once again you can either get as cheap or as free as they come. So yeah, this game is in a bit of a pickle here. So mild recommendation, I'd go with. Yeah, and so that'll about do it for Deckham here. Be sure to tune in after the break, as Fatty Fan will be reviewing Paper Tris.